Have you ever been just scrolling through your phone, looking at social media, and you see someone else succeeding?
Oh, yeah, constantly.
Right. Maybe they are traveling the world, or maybe they just landed this fantastic new job, or, maybe they are just speaking English flawlessly in a video. And suddenly, out of nowhere, your stomach just drops.
It really is a physical reaction, isn't it?
It is. You feel like you are completely failing. You feel like you are somehow, I don't know, falling behind in your own life.
Well, that sudden sinking feeling in your chest, it is practically universal today.
Yeah.
We all experience it. But that feeling of inadequacy, that anxiety of being left behind, it's almost always based on a complete illusion.
Welcome to this deep dive. Today, our mission is to unpack a very common, very modern psychological struggle that we call the comparison trap.
It is such an important topic.
It really is. And for you, our listener joining us today, especially if you are working on learning English, we have designed this conversation specifically with you in mind.
Exactly. We are going to speak clearly, and we're going to maintain a deliberate pace so you can really absorb this.
Right. We are going to explore why human beings constantly compare themselves to others. We're going to challenge how we view time and success, and look at actionable ways to rewire our habits.
And along the way, we're going to naturally highlight some incredibly useful English vocabulary that you can use every single day.
It's a vital conversation to have because understanding this trap, well, it's the first step to escaping it. The anxiety we feel when looking at others is incredibly powerful.
But once you break down the mechanics of why it happens, it really begins to lose its grip on you.
So let's start by diagnosing that core problem. Why do we feel this intense anxiety in the first place when we look at other people's lives through a screen?
Yeah, to understand this, we have to look at two fundamental concepts. We call them the highlight reel and the behind the scenes.
The highlight reel.
Right. A highlight reel is a term that originally comes from sports broadcasting.
Oh, like football recaps.
Exactly. Think about watching a recap of a football or basketball game on television. You only see the absolute best, most thrilling moments, right?
Just the goals and the amazing plays.
Yes, you see the incredible goals, the dramatic saves, the players cheering. But what is completely cut out?
The boring stuff.
Exactly. The hours of boring practice, the missed passes, the players just sitting on the bench waiting, the injuries, the mistakes. The highlight reel is pure, concentrated perfection.
And on the other side, we have the behind the scenes. This is the messy, unedited reality.
Right, the reality most of us live in.
Okay, let's unpack this with a movie analogy. If you think about a major Hollywood movie, the final film you see in the theater, that is the highlight reel. The lighting is gorgeous, the actors deliver every line perfectly, the music swells at just the right time.
It looks effortless.
Exactly. But the behind-the-scenes reality of making that movie is chaotic. It's an actor forgetting their lines 20 times in a row. It's a director losing their temper.
Or someone accidentally knocking over a light.
Yes. Or bad weather ruining a whole day of filming. That contrast is the entire root of the comparison trap.
It really is. What we do every single day is take our own behind the scenes, our everyday, sometimes boring, often messy reality, and we judge it against someone else's carefully edited highlight reel.
Let's apply this directly to you, the listener, and your journey of learning English. You open an app and you see a video of another English learner.
And in this 60-second video, their pronunciation is perfect.
Right. They are using advanced vocabulary, they seem incredibly confident, and their audience is cheering them on.
And when you see that, and then you think about how you struggled to remember a simple word that very morning, it triggers a rush of negative emotion.
Specifically, we experience being envious and feeling deep self-doubt.
Those are two critical emotional states to understand here. When you feel envious, you are experiencing a kind of psychological pain.
Because someone else has something you want.
Exactly. They possess something you desire and you feel a sense of lack. And self-doubt is exactly what it sounds like. It is a fracture in your confidence.
You start questioning your own abilities.
Yes. You ask yourself, am I simply not smart enough? Am I not studying hard enough? Why is this so easy for them and so difficult for me?
But the reality is, comparing your messy daily struggle to their 60-second polished video is an unfair comparison.
It is entirely unfair.
It is like stepping into a boxing ring with your hands tied behind your back. You are comparing your worst, most frustrating moments to their absolute best, most highly edited moments.
Now, what's fascinating here is the mechanism in human psychology that makes this happen.
Yeah, because logically we know it's edited, right?
Right. You might be wondering if we logically know that social media is edited, if we know a video might have taken 50 attempts to get right, Why do we still feel that emotional pain? Why does the brain fall for the trick?
I really want to know this. Because I know it's fake, I know there are filters, but my heart rate still goes up when I see it. Why?
Well, it comes down to how human beings evolved. Our brains evolved over millions of years to react instantly to visual stimuli.
So seeing is believing, literally.
Exactly. What we see right in front of our eyes is processed as immediate reality. If our ancestors saw a predator, they ran. They didn't stop to logically analyze the situation.
That makes sense. Survival instinct.
So when your eyes see a video of someone speaking flawlessly or living a perfect life, the emotional center of your brain registers it as absolute, indisputable truth.
And the logical part of the brain.
The logical part, the part that understands video editing, the part that knows about multiple takes, is much slower. By the time your logic catches up, the emotional damage of feeling envious and inadequate has already occurred.
Wow. So our brains are basically betraying us. They are processing a heavily manufactured image as a raw physical threat to our own social standing.
That's a great way to put it.
Which makes the phrase, social media is not reality, so much more than just a cliche. It is a literal biological warning label.
Precisely. Social media is not reality. The person speaking perfect English in that video. You did not see the hundreds of hours they spent staring at grammar books in frustration.
You didn't see the mistakes?
Right. You did not see the times they felt embarrassed in a real-world conversation because they froze and forgot a common phrase. You are only seeing the final product.
So once we truly internalize that we are comparing two completely different things, our reality versus their marketing, those feelings of self-doubt begin to lose their power over us.
Yes, recognizing the illusion is the first step.
Okay, let's unpack the next layer of this. If I can accept that social media is an illusion and I can stop comparing my behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, I am still left with a problem.
Which is?
My brain still naturally wants to measure progress. I still feel this ticking clock telling me I need to reach a certain level of success by a certain time.
Yes. Time. This brings us to a massive part of the comparison trap. How we view time.
It's always a race against the clock.
Time is perhaps the most universal metric we use to punish ourselves. We create these invisible deadlines.
Like, I must be fluent by next year.
Exactly. We tell ourselves we must be fluent in a language by the time we are 25, or we must own a home by 30, or reach a career peak by 40.
We can look at this through the metaphor of a clock and time zones. We all understand global time zones, right?
Right. New York versus Tokyo.
Exactly. When it is early morning in New York City, it is late at night in Tokyo, the sun is shining in one place, and the stars are out in another. Now, is New York right and Tokyo wrong? Is New York somehow faster or winning?
Of course not. They're simply operating in different time zones. The exact same logic applies to human lives.
How so?
Well, someone might discover their absolute passion in life and become highly successful at 22 years old. Someone else might try 5 different careers, experience multiple failures, and finally find their true calling at 55 years old.
But society often slaps labels on that. Society says the 22-year-old is a genius who is moving fast, and the 55-year-old is a late bloomer who is moving slow.
And that is the trap. Neither person is fast or slow. They simply have a different timeline.
A timeline.
Yes, a timeline is the unique schedule of your life's events. Every single human being has a completely different timeline, just like every major city has a different time zone.
There's a really beautiful metaphor from nature that illustrates this perfectly. Think about different types of flowers. We have cherry blossoms.
Very famous spring flowers.
Right. Cherry blossoms bloom, meaning they open up and show their petals to the world in the spring. The weather gets warm and suddenly they are everywhere. But then we have the wintersweet.
Sometimes called the plum blossom.
Yes. This flower only blooms in the dead of winter, when it is freezing cold and snow is on the ground.
And this is where the word bloom becomes excellent vocabulary for our listeners. While we use it for flowers, we use it just as often for people.
Like saying someone is a late bloomer.
Exactly. When a person finally becomes confident, healthy, and successful in their environment, we say they are blooming.
Let me push back slightly here, though, for the sake of the listener who is doing the hard work of learning English right now. Learning a language is difficult, frustrating work. If my friend starts studying English and becomes comfortably fluent in 1 year, but I study just as hard, and it takes me 3 years to finally feel confident opening my mouth, well, shouldn't I feel like I'm behind?
It's a fair question.
Isn't calling myself a winter flower just making an excuse for not working hard enough?
I understand why it feels that way, but no, it is not an excuse. It is acknowledging biological and psychological reality.
What do you mean by biological reality?
Well, your friend might have a different memory structure, a different linguistic background, or a different learning environment. The winter flower never has to apologize for not blooming in the spring.
Because it's simply not its season.
Exactly. Your journey, your brain, your background, it is all unique. Unique means it is the absolute only one of its kind in the universe.
So we shouldn't expect our timelines to match.
If you are a unique individual, why would you expect your timeline to match your friend's timeline perfectly?
That is a massive perspective shift. It actually removes a lot of the heaviness. I don't need to stress because I am progressing at your own pace.
Yes, at your own pace.
At your own pace is such a freeing phrase. It means moving at a speed that is natural, sustainable, and right now. You aren't forcing the speed of the internet, and you aren't trying to match the speed of your friend.
To really lock this idea in, there are two vital English phrases that you, the listener, can adopt as a mental shield. The first is, run your own race.
I like that. Think about being on an actual running track. You are sprinting. If you're constantly turning your head to look at the runner in the lane next to you, what happens to your body?
Your biomechanics change.
Right. You lose your balance. You slow your own momentum down. You might even drift into their lane and trip. You are ruining your own performance simply by checking on theirs.
You can only control your own breathing, your own legs, your own form. So run your own race. Look straight ahead at your own finish line.
Run your own race. That's powerful.
And the second phrase that pairs beautifully with this is, everything happens in its own time.
Everything happens in its own time. You cannot yell at a winter flower to open in April.
Oh, you can.
You cannot force complex personal growth to happen overnight just because you want it to. True growth takes the time it takes.
But this naturally raises a very practical challenge.
Which is what?
Well, understanding that we have our own timeline and that we should run our own race is wonderful in theory. It sounds incredibly peaceful. But practically, on a Tuesday afternoon, when you are feeling tired, how do you actually stop the bad habit of looking at other people's clocks?
Right. Because I can repeat, I am a winter flower to myself all morning, but the second I open my phone and see that highlight reel of someone living my dream, the self-doubt comes rushing right back in.
Exactly. It's a habit.
To fix this, we have to actively shift the competition. Instead of competing with everyone on the internet, we have to turn the competition inward.
The phrase for this is to focus on yourself. You are essentially changing the core question you ask your brain.
Instead of asking, am I better than them?
Right. Instead of asking, am I better or faster than that person I see online? The new question must become, am I a little bit better today than I was yesterday?
We are abandoning the impossible goal of being the fastest or the best in the world and replacing it with the very achievable goal of making progress.
Progress. Such a key word.
Progress simply means moving forward, even by a microscopic amount. To help us build this habit of making progress, there are two highly practical tools we can use immediately.
The first tool is a digital detox.
A digital detox.
Yes. The word detox originally refers to medical treatments that remove toxins or poisons from the physical body. A digital detox applies that concept to your mental diet.
So cleaning out your mental diet.
Exactly. It means deliberately taking a break from your phone, stepping away from the internet, and closing social media.
And this doesn't mean you have to throw your smartphone in a river and go live in the woods.
No, definitely not.
But it means recognizing the physical signals of the comparison trap. When you are scrolling and you feel your chest tighten, when you feel that envious drop in your stomach, that is a signal.
That is the exact moment you turn the screen off.
You physically break the visual trigger that we talked about earlier. You give your brain's logical center time to catch up and calm down.
And the second tool works incredibly well alongside the digital detox. It is maintaining a gratitude journal.
A gratitude journal.
Yes. Gratitude is the profound feeling of being thankful for what you currently have rather than focusing on what you lack. And a journal is a personal notebook where you record your thoughts.
But here is the specific way you use it to fight the comparison trap, especially as an English learner. You do not need to write long emotional essays.
Keep it simple.
Exactly. You just write down one single small improvement every day. For instance, before you go to sleep, you open your journal and simply write down one new English vocabulary word you learned that day.
The mechanism behind this is crucial. You might ask, why does writing down one word matter?
Yeah, it seems so small.
It does, but the physical act of writing it down anchors your progress in reality. It provides tangible proof that you are moving forward on your own timeline.
So when self-doubt creeps in,
When self-doubt tries to tell you that you are stuck, you can look at the journal and see undeniable evidence that you are not standing still. You are building compound interest in your own growth.
this shifts us to a famous, incredibly powerful phrase that captures the entire spirit of this conversation. The phrase is, comparison is the thief of joy.
Think deeply about that imagery. A thief is someone who sneaks into your house and steals something valuable from you. They rob you.
And joy.
Joy is a profound, resonant feeling of present happiness and contentment.
Comparison is the thief of joy. You could be sitting in your home, having a quiet cup of coffee, feeling genuinely good about the fact that you understood a podcast in English today. You are experiencing joy.
You're happy in the moment.
But the absolute second you open an app and compare your progress to someone who learned the language faster, your happiness vanishes. Where did it go?
The act of comparison stole it from you.
It robbed you of the ability to be satisfied. When you are satisfied, you feel a sense of peace because you recognize that what you have and where you are right now is enough.
Comparison guarantees that you will never feel satisfied because there will always be someone whose highlight reel looks better.
So how do we actively protect our joy? How do we put a lock on the door to keep the thief out?
We have to rewire our internal dialogue.
Our internal dialogue is that quiet voice constantly talking inside our own heads. For most of us, that voice is a harsh critic. It constantly whispers that we are running late, that we are behind schedule.
We must intentionally replace that critical voice with specific, grounded statements. We call these affirmations.
Affirmations.
Yes, you use them as mental pushback when you feel self-doubt creeping in. The first statement you must practice telling yourself is, I am not behind. I am on my own schedule.
I am not behind. I am on my own schedule. I really want you to visualize that. Imagine standing on a train platform. If your specific train is scheduled to depart at 3:10 p.m., and you were standing there at 2:00 p.m. watching other trains leave, well, you are not late.
No, you're not missing anything.
You are exactly where you were supposed to be, waiting for your own specific departure. You are on your own schedule.
Exactly. You do not need to panic just because another train is moving. And this leads to a final, incredibly grounding affirmation that I encourage you to adopt. Say it quietly to yourself. I honor my own path.
I honor my own path. The word honor means to treat something with deep respect and reverence.
And your path.
Your path is the unique, unrepeatable road you are walking through life. When you say this, you are deciding to respect your own messy behind the scenes. You are respecting your winter blooming season. You are respecting the exact speed at which you learn and grow.
It is the ultimate defense against the comparison trap. When you truly honor your own path, you strip away the power of everyone else's highlight reel. You realize their journey has absolutely nothing to do with yours.
So what does this all mean for you right now? Let's trace the path we've walked in this deep dive.
We started by unmasking the highlight reel illusion.
Right. We explored how our brains are tricked by visual perfection and why comparing our chaotic daily reality to someone else's edited, filtered internet life is an entirely unfair comparison.
We then dismantled the ticking clock. We learned that success does not exist in a single time zone. Some people are spring cherry blossoms and some are winter sweet.
We realized the vital importance of running our own race, trusting that everything happens in its own unique time.
And finally, we armed ourselves against the thief of joy.
By utilizing a digital detox to break the visual triggers and maintaining a gratitude journal to track our own daily progress, we stop competing with the impossible standards of the internet. We turn our focus inward, aiming only to be slightly better than the person we were yesterday.
The English vocabulary we explore today, words like envious, self-doubt, unique, progress, and satisfied are more than just language lessons. They are conceptual tools you can use to frame and understand your own mental well-being.
To you, our listener, I encourage you to put this into practice immediately. Open your gratitude journal tonight and write down one phrase from today's conversation. Remember that simply taking the time to listen to this deep dive, pushing yourself to comprehend these ideas in English, is a massive victory.
It truly is tangible progress.
You are doing the work. You are on your own schedule.
Before we part ways, I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought to turn over in your mind. We have spent this entire time talking about how to stop envying someone else's highlight reel. But consider this flipped perspective.
Okay, what is it?
What if the person whose perfect, polished life you are currently envying is actually secretly envious of your behind-the-scenes reality?
Oh, wow. That is fascinating. What do you mean by that?
Well, they might have the money, the fast career, or the perfect grammar. but perhaps they are profoundly lonely. Perhaps they see something simple and raw in your life, a deep connection with your family, a quiet sense of peace in your living room, a genuine laugh with a friend.
Things we might take for granted.
Exactly. And they would trade all of their polished success just to have a timeline that looks a little bit more like yours. We never see the whole picture.
What a powerful perspective shift. The things you consider ordinary or take for granted might be the exact things someone else is desperately hoping to find on their path. Keep running your own race, keep making quiet, steady progress, and we wish you incredibly well as you continue to honor your own unique path.